Welcome to the Impact Lounge. Feel the sound. Legends in the ring making moves all around. We got the fire, the heart, the stories untold. This is our moment. Watch the magic unfold. Welcome to the Impact Lounge, where we reign. Kings and queens of the ring breaking chains. We taking wrestling to a whole new height. Under bright lights, we ignite the fight. Genesis to rebellion. The crowd still chanting.
What's up, jobbers? It is your boy BQ. This is the Impact Lounge Impact Review for June 19th, 2025. It is Wednesday morning. I put it on Twitter. I ended up deleting the tweet. I don't know why, but I just did. But I put it on Twitter. I had some dental work done this week. It was I was in a lot of pain, so it was very difficult for me to talk, and I was numbed, and it affected my ability to sit and record the podcast. So unfortunately, I'm doing it for you guys this morning. So I'm sorry about that. Obviously, the next episode of Impact is tomorrow, but I at least wanted to get the content out to you guys. I kind of sort of watched the episode in a reasonable amount of time as well. Not reasonable. I watched it Wednesday, but I was on my way home from work and I had a Final Destination moment. So I was just driving on the freeway. There was a truck in front of me and a ladder fell off the truck and I ran it over. I mean, it all happened so quickly, and I fortunately only blew one tire out, but I blew a tire out. I was on the side of the road for 2 hours waiting on a tow truck because I don't have a spare. Not that I would have changed a spare on the freeway there, but last time that I did take my car in, they kept my spare. So, I had to get towed. But there's your quick story. You know what I'm saying? I try not to. Someone actually commented on this, one of my recent videos, that they appreciate that I just get to the point with the podcast. And I typically do that because as a fan and as a listener of podcasts, I don't like listening to a show where they just like they kick it off. You'll have multiple guests and they greet each other and they fucking tell personal stories for like 45 minutes. Nobody fucking cares. You know what I'm saying? So I like to just get to the point and do this one time for your mind, talking TNA Impact.
TNA Impact. Oh.
All right, let's get into this. Your ring announcer for the evening is Mackenzie Mitchell.
Ding bong, ding dong, he's Stone Cold.
So opening match here, and don't get it twisted. We're going to see this match about 50 times before the year is over, I can promise you. But it kicks off with Salami Calorie Ham, the bread machine.
Oh, you gotta give him that huck too and spit on that thing. You get me?
He's fat.
And he is taking on Rah King Eric Young.
Who the heck are you? What are you talking about? I'm Santa Claus.
No, you're not.
Why, of course
And
I
he-
am.
Start talking because I forgot what that soundbite was. And he is, of course, flanked by the Northern Armory.
Well, well, well. This is Mr. Bullshit and Doctor I'm Full of Shit.
I see people on Twitter saying, what are they going to do? They need to do more with Sinner and Sane. Like, those guys do not have it. I'm sorry. I think they're in a great spot for them. And when the Northern Armory officially dissolves, it's probably got legs because I don't think the people care that much. Like, the Good Hands is one thing because you're like, we're really into this Jason Hotch guy. Eventually they got to split up this tag team. He's got to get a singles run, this and that. But you don't, with Northern Armory, like, they're just, I don't know. Are they Sinner and Sane Northern Armory? Are they all the Northern Armory? I don't know at this point. But they're just kind of there, wearing masks, looking like MF Doom. And they're in a good role. They're in a good spot. They're good wrestlers. They don't have it otherwise. Like, you can put them in the tag team division and have some good tag team matches. They can flip around. Awesome. But this spot for them is good. And they can probably be in this spot for a long time because I don't think anyone is truly asking for this group to break up. The people also don't care about the group that much, but there's that small percentage. What they need to do more with them. No, they don't. They absolutely do not. So Eric Young versus Sami Callihan. We're going to get this many times this year. I am willing to bet that within the next 2 months they have a garbage match of some descript. I don't know what it's going to be. Probably a street fight because that's the easiest thing for them to do. That's their favorite match. So I'm sure we're going to see something like that within the next couple months. But they have a match here, and I was pretty sure Eric Young was going to win, and he did. There was interference. And I think there's interference in all these matches. It just feels like that's what it is every time I'm watching TNA television. Like heels just don't win in this company. They just don't. They don't win. I mean, they certainly don't win clean. And I know you say, well, they're heels. They should cheat. I know, but every single victory, I mean, can they ever just win? All the champions in this company are heels except one. But you feel like if you put them in a match, put them all in a, not this champion challenge crap, but if you put them all in a match for an episode of Impact, okay, every single one of them has a match. All of them are going to cheat to win. This was no different. Sami Callihan going for the pile driver. Sinner and Saint distract the ref. Eric Young hits the pile driver because everyone has the same move in this company and gets the win. So they're going to wrestle again, and then there's going to be a rubber match. It is the same formula for all these feuds, and Sami Callihan will win the feud, and I don't know why. I don't know why he won the feud with Mance Warner, for what, but it's just because good guys win. That's how we rock with this company. I forgot I got to look at the results on my phone here today. I have to pull them off the TNA website. My notes were so, the notes that I wrote down were so messy. I've got what's your oldest child? I mean, your youngest child. So you got like a 2-3-year-old, whatever. They're right-handed. Picture them like drawing with their left hand. That is my writing. So, all right, yeah. After this, backstage, Gia Miller.
Jesus Christ, that's perfect. Of course you're here right now.
Fortunately, we couldn't see her feet. We couldn't see the sandals. But she is interviewing Joe Hendry, Elijah, Leon Slater, and the Rascals. I did not care. So I really don't care what any of them have to say, to be honest with you. Because the Champions Challenge is not my favorite match in the world. So I just went right through it. After this, we had the Order 4 had a summit, and that was led, of course, by Mustafa Ali.
If you vote for me, all of your wildest dreams will come true.
And then we know that the Order 4 consists of Tasha Steelz.
Got a badass over here.
And the Good Hand Jobs.
Hey, for another 60, I'll jerk you off in the parking garage.
This was pretty entertaining, you know. I saw a good portion of it on YouTube before I watched the episode, and then I watched it again. And he calls out each member of the Order 4. And, you know, first of all, I said this last week. It was weird to me because I took a break for almost 2 months, I think, or maybe 2 months. Before my break, they were not called the Order 4. They were just their group. You know what I'm saying? And I come back, and now they're already dismantling the Order 4. So, I mean, don't they have merch? So, whatever. So he's individually calling out each member of the Order 4 to give them basically a job evaluation. So he calls out Tasha Steelz first, tells her she's doing a horrible job. And it's crazy. We've never seen Tasha in any kind of babyface role, and we probably never will because I expect her to be one of the ones gone here soon. Once this angle's over. But I wouldn't mind seeing if it, see if it works. But it's whatever. Makes her apologize, and she apologizes. Calls out Jason Hotch. They recently had a match. He talked about Ali putting his hands on Tasha Steelz, and he stood up for them, saying, what would any man do? And I thought it was a really, really nice touch to all this because Ali says, well, who pays your mortgage? Who pays for the formula? The only man in the ring is me. Great stuff. Great stuff. Ali says effective things, and he does not try to be funny, but he's entertaining. You know what I'm saying? Everything he does is really good. There's no other way to put it. Everything. And he calls out John Schuyler, the most loyal member of the Order 4, even though about 30 seconds later he called him the weak link. And he's the one that stood up for him. He stood up for Jason Hotch. He stood up for Tasha Steelz, saying, I don't got a family at home. Like this is my family. This was John Schuyler's best work. He's a good promo. He's a good speaker. He comes out and he reaches for a lot of like really low-hanging fruit Sometimes the promos hit, sometimes they don't. I'm having a hard time picturing him as a baby. Like, I don't know if I see this team as a baby faces going forward. I don't know what I'm expecting of this, but I'm glad that it's not super predictable, as many things are that this company does. So I don't think it's next week. It might be next week's card looks really bad. I'm sorry. I say bad because it's like 3 squash matches, a garbage match, and then if this is part of it, what did he call this? Let me look in a call to arms match. I don't know if that's a garbage match. I have no idea. So that is next week, right? Okay, so yeah, that's one of the squash matches. I'm sorry, and I'm putting that in the squash category, but it's possibly a second garbage match on the show. So I'm not overly excited next week about what they're doing, but we'll see. And then there's a Knockouts Battle Royal, which, of course, like everything else, it was spoiled for me, so I know who wins. I'm looking forward to it because of the fresh knockouts and all the talent that's going to be in the ring. And it's probably not just going to be like your standard, like 6 knockout battle royal. I mean, there's a lot you can feature here. We got a lot of new faces. But just based off the way it ended, I'm like, So we'll see. Yeah, next week, call to arms match. Then we get a very nice video package by Killer Kelly, and she's letting you know that
I'm pregnant.
Fuck off.
What?
What?
I'm pregnant?
no, this was excellent. We want to see this kind of stuff. I think the company benefits more from this than backstage with Gia Miller or cutting promos in the ring. Like, I just think this is just more beneficial to feuds because you can do multiple takes. You can hide all your weaknesses in promos. Anytime Masha Slamovich, for instance, talked for a long time, it was always these, whether it was English or not. Then you put them behind a mic and they lose the aura, as the kids would say. So this was good. Looking forward to the match. As I said, I just wouldn't be shocked if Kelly wasn't done soon after it, but I'm looking forward to it because I know that in the past, what they have done has been excellent in the ring and has not gone too long. It's just perfect. They have like very, very good chemistry. After this knockouts tag team action, we have the director of waste management, the Knockouts World Champion, Masha Slamovich.
How do you like my garbage truck? This truck is in honor of Kamala and Joe Biden.
Her tag team partner is Laying Lee.
From Chingchong, China.
In the ring before this, though, because they announced the heels first, was, of course, the personal concierge.
That's my dad. But don't worry, he's cool.
Really? He doesn't look cool.
And the Elegance brand, Ash by Elegance.
Come on, Teddy. Come on, Teddy.
Heather by Elegance.
He has an erection.
Yeah. It's all her fault.
M by Elegance.
My favorite match was with Melina and Alicia Fox.
So we got Maggie Lee in this match, even though she's in their corner, and Laying Lee. So everyone's Lee in this company now as well. Not Laying Lee, but Maggie Lee, M by Elegance. Even though I'm excited to see what she can do. She came out dressed, I think she was wearing my Aunt Awilda's nightgown. So I think they need to work on her wardrobe a little bit. So they had a tag match here. When I saw it advertised, I was like, why are they fighting? I thought it was just odd that we had so many champions in the match, I was like, well, why isn't M by Elegance wrestling instead of Ash or something like that, or instead of Heather? I would like to see them do more to mix it up a little bit. I know Heather and M have wrestled on a team before, but I want to see like M and Ash wrestle as well. Like, I want to see them mix it up. So the match was fine. It wouldn't be a match if the heels didn't cheat. And I guess there really wasn't so much cheating. But Masha was going to do some kind of move off the turnbuckles to Ash. Killer Kelly showed up, which I was fairly certain that the match was going to end this way. She comes out, distracts her. Masha gets pushed off, and then the rarefied air is hit, and she gets pinned. So I thought it was a little anticlimactic to pin your Knockouts champion, just pushing her off the ropes and then hitting the rarefied air. I mean, people have in the 80s people won matches with less. But in this era of wrestling, it's like you have to hit the kitchen sink and everything to beat somebody. So I thought it came off a little flat for that reason, but it's fine. I was surprised. Excuse me. I was surprised they pinned Masha, but that tells you that Masha is going to beat Killer Kelly. It's letting you know in advance that is what's going to happen. And with Ash getting the pin here, it worries me that that's telling us the Inspiration is going to beat them very, very soon. We'll see if that happens or not. Speaking of which, they are backstage.
I am iconic.
With Gia Miller. I feel like they didn't cut a whole lot of promos last time they were with the company. They had some backstage interactions with the Influence, but I feel like they didn't do a lot of interviews, so it was interesting to hear them just speak and cut a promo. Then we got the injury report.
You have 24 hours to live.
24 hours?
Well, 22. I'm sorry I kept you waiting so long.
So a bunch of people on their deathbed who are also going to wrestle here very, very soon. Except I think Casey Navarro is like legitimately hurt. Then after that, your favorite, everybody's favorite, Santino.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
This is the second week in a row that they've promoted we will hear from Santino. And I'm going to repeat what I always say. He's a familiar face to the WWE audience, and they have fond memories of him, so they are going to give us Santino. Last week, he kicked off the show, but they're going to give us Santino. So for everyone who is, I hope they move on from it, they are not. I was fairly certain when he was wrestling Robert Stone, and I said, if Robert Stone wins, I'm not going to watch the show. I was fairly certain Santino was going to win because they want to deliver Santino to the WWE people. No one cares about Robert Stone. He's irrelevant in wrestling. You understand what I'm saying? So I was pretty sure Santino was going to win, but he is here for our viewing pleasure.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you something.
We don't care.
And he announces next week that Mike Santana and AJ Francis are going to wrestle in a street fight.
Lazy booking.
No count out, no disqualification, no rules. I just feel like we're getting a garbage match there. I feel like Sammy and Eric Young's going to be one. There's one other, I can't think there's one other feud I think is possibly going to be one as well. It's like this, it doesn't stop. So then he calls out your favorite, Tommy the Dreamer.
Ah, so you come crawling back, you cheap sack of shit.
The human body pillow. He comes out, and we were expecting last week that this was leading towards this was the feud I was talking about, actually. We were expecting last week this was leading towards Mance Warner versus Tommy Dreamer garbage match. Santino actually even said, you could have a match. And that's not where they're going. But as they're cutting the promo, of course, here he comes, Mance Warner.
Law Mud Show garbage wrestler.
And Steph DeLander.
Everybody's been real nice.
Well, that's because you have big jugs.
I don't know what, man, I would imagine they were recording this towards the end of the second night because the fans did not fucking care about this. It's like you got Santino and Tommy Dreamer pandering to the audience, and then these two come out, and Steph is cutting a pretty solid promo on the mic. I think she adds something when she's speaking. The fans didn't care. I mean, you could hear 4 or 5 people reacting to what she had to say. And then Tommy Dreamer's kind of becoming the new Scott D'Amore, where it's like, I'm going to make the announcements of who's signed and who's new and who's returning and all that shit. Tommy's not my favorite person right now because there's one of my favorite wrestlers, trying to get back to the company and waiting on the word from Tommy Dreamer. And I'm like, dude, just say yes. Fucking guy. Anyway, they're bringing back the returning Naked Jake.
You mind if I slip into something more comfortable?
And Tom Hannafin, of course, knew who it was immediately because, I mean, the minute the first note of the music hit, ain't that something? Where's my fake phony sound drop? I don't have that on me at the moment. So, man, we're doing this again with Jake something. I think this ship is like so. I was talking about last week ships that have sailed. Trey Miguel and Ace Austin, obviously not with the company anymore. Like I was talking about, some guys where the moment was there. It's gone now as far as the singles run, the singles push. You know, just because sometimes you pigeonhole someone into the tag team division, or sometimes because you're bringing in too many recognizable names from other companies that you keep knocking guys down. So this is this ship has so long sailed. They had an opportunity with Hammerstone. It obviously did not work, but people were looking forward to that. They were down for those guys as a tag team. They were going to win the belt at some point. So we're just getting I think he did one match after Hammerstone left and was a baby face in a match after just being a heel for so long, and now he's a baby face again. But he comes out, 8 people are like, hey, because again, the WWE portion audience doesn't know who he is. And then I think the TNA portion audience was kind of like, again, we're doing this with him. At least he came out with some clothes on, which was good. I believe the next week, that live episode that they did, I believe he was naked again. But, this garbage match incoming, like tables match or some shit like that. 100%. Then they are backstage with Tessa Blanchard.
Oh, I don't like this. That if the Nuggets don't win this.
She's approached by Indy Hartwell.
How long did it take you to learn English once you got here?
It was really easy because we speak English in Australia, you fucking idiot.
By the way, once Indy came out, I said, is everyone Australian on this show? It's like the last 3 promos were Indy Hartwell, Steph DeLander, and the Inspiration. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, Tessa was pulling up her knee pad or something, like she was wrestling tonight. And then Indy Hartwell came up. I thought Indy did a pretty good job in her role here, because I think she's adjusting, obviously, to the silly role she had in WWE, to where here trying to be taken a little more serious. So, this was fine. I'm going to look forward to them two having a match. Tessa should bring the best out of her. The problem is, because I expect Indy Hartwell to be the next big challenger, it's like, are we going to feed Tessa to Indy Hartwell? That is my worry about all this. But if we want to take Indy Hartwell as a serious competitor, serious challenger for the Knockouts title, she has to get hot. She has to get some good victories. And I don't know what other heels she can wrestle in the division. I feel like off the top of my head, the majority of the Knockouts are baby faces, with the exception of like the Elegance brand. So I guess Tessa's all you got, but I mean, you could just have her wrestle old Victoria Crawford. It won't be good, but you could do that, but you can do that. Okay. Moving right along. The next match, we had the System, but they were represented by King of the White People, Eddie Edwards.
Ooh, I'm white.
And his tag team partner for this one was JDC.
These are spirit fingers. And these are gold.
They were accompanied by Brian Myers.
What is she going to think when she comes in here? Oh, look, he's got a billion toys.
And my girl, Alicia Edwards.
Hey, baby.
So their opponents, Matt Cardona.
It's like you don't care about this company at all.
No fucking shit, I don't care about this company. Why, this is just an ATM to me.
And his mystery partner. And, man, I talked about it last week. I do it every time. Every time you see the silhouette, man. Every fucking time. Keep your expectation low as dog balls. I think everyone's expected this was the partner. But it was... I don't even know what the... I didn't even write his name down. What is Cody Deaner's name? Hometown Man?
Everyone in this room is now dumber.
So he comes out he's right from here in Arizona. So this is my concern with this gimmick. I mean, maybe the people in the arena are into it. I know for like a lot of us at home, I didn't see social media wise a great reaction to the hometown man thing. There's some of you who are fine, and there's some of you, there's some of you saying it's wrestling, it's not that serious. It's supposed to be fun. That's perfectly fine if that is your take on it. And maybe the people in the arena like it. From what I'm seeing, for the most part, people are not into this. They've never been into anything Cody Deaner's doing, unfortunately. But this is my concern, because the gimmick is almost like he's a mystery partner, because they're always saying, hey, he's from right here. I just feel like we're going to get a lot of mystery partner stuff with this guy going forward, like almost damn near every other week. You know what I mean? So I'm really worried they're just going to like beat that to death. And if they do beat it to death, it is going to kill anything going forward for any mysteries for TNA. I mean, that's already dead. I think for a lot of you, that's already dead. The minute you see that silhouette, you're just like, oh God, here we go again. But we'll see. I thought it was a one-time thing. Apparently it's a two-time thing. He's on the roster page. So they're probably going to start doing we know that's Cody. The heels are probably going to be like, that's Cody Deaner. I think Hannafin was saying on commentary, because obviously I don't listen to the commentary. I think when I kicked it in for a second, he was acknowledging it was Deaner, but I just see this weird like Mr. America thing going where they're going to pretend it's not him. And I mean, didn't this guy lose a match to be fired? How is he wrestling under contract? Whether it's him or not, whether it's him or he's someone pretending he's not him, how does he have a contract to wrestle? So this match ended with the hometown man, pinning Eddie Edwards. Because Eddie Edwards is here long term. They don't have to protect Eddie Edwards. They'll pin him as much as they freaking want to. Didn't I do a report that he lost more than anybody in 2024? He had more matches than anyone, and he lost more than anyone. Because if you're here long term, you're going to lose. If you're here for a year, you're going to win. If you're here for 6 months, you're really going to win. All right? So it's I think there might have been some sort of ipso facto distraction. I don't know what happened, but hometown man gets the win. The website says that Cardona and Brian Myers agreed to a match after this. I didn't see that on screen. And there was a big post-match beatdown, because that is what the fucking system does every time. And I told you guys, the fans are just going to get very disconnected to what they do if they're not already. But I do think the system is we're getting close to the end here. Whatever their run is, I don't know how they're going to break it off. Leon Slater's probably going to win the X Division Championship. That's the story they've been telling for a while. It's one of the few kind of long-term, predictable as it may be, kind of one of the few long-term stories they've been doing. So he's more than likely going to beat Moose. And I wonder, because I didn't watch Rebellion. I know they did Ultimate X. And when they announced the match, I remember saying it's likely going to finish with Leon Slater looking like he's going to win and then getting screwed and then Moose winning. So you guys can let me know if that's actually what happened. But I expect him to win X Division Championship. Moose at that point, who's very good at reinventing himself, is probably going to have to find a different route. He's gonna reinvent himself once again. Probably still remain a heel. I don't see why he would go babyface, but probably some kind of reinvention. I don't know how they handle the others. I have a feeling once JDC's contract is up that they'll move on from him. So Myers and Edwards, I don't know. I think if they're trying to go babyface Myers and Cardona, I don't know if I like that. I'm okay with them as heels. But to do the babyface thing just feels like you're just trying to pander to the WWE audience, which is probably what they're trying to do here. But I don't know. I just don't like Cardona as a babyface. It's like he's a heel everywhere else he goes. But here, they want him to be Zack Ryder. So he is a good guy. And then after this, we have the main event. Oh! That's not the right Hannafin main event soundbite. What am I doing? Where are you at, Hannafin? 1, 2, 3.
Oh, and I can't count.
Okay, there we go. That's the main event soundbite. So this was the Champions Challenge. We had on commentary again. I don't know why. King of the Block Party, Frankie Kazarian.
It's a block party.
party. I'm not playing with y'all, bro.
I mean, they always try to keep him in the main event mix, but it's just like when it comes down to it, he loses. To me, when he lost to Joe Hendry at the TNA Plus show in Vegas, I was, Joe Hendry, who was not selling his injury, but was injured, and he pinned him in a tag match, and then he obviously fucking loses at the pay-per-view. I'm just like, what are we doing? They need some. Frankie's going to require some kind of rehabilitation, because I think that Call Your Shot Gauntlet, I guess the story to him winning it was fine, but I mean, him carrying it around and with no direction, and then them just cashing it in because they had to. You got to find something else for this dude. I don't know, but they just kind of keep him in that main event picture. He's on commentary. On one side, you got the champions, the TNA World Champion Trick Williams.
How about a magic trick?
The TNA International Champion Steve Macklin.
I do the ass kicking around here.
Wait your turn, jarhead. Ah!
The X Division Champion Moose.
Damn you, Moose.
And the Tag Team Champions Ryan Nemeth.
I've been talking to people walking here. We've been talking about next year, and I'm sitting there saying, I'm not going to be here.
My bad. That was the Nick Nemeth soundbite. So Nick Nemeth and Ryan Nemeth.
Well, let me tell you something, brother.
Their opponents, the Challengers, I hate this match so much, made up of Brother Love Handles, Joe Hendry, Leon Slater.
Stay here. I'm in charge.
Do you feel in charge?
The other guy who's just hanging out in the fucking main event scene for whatever damn reason, Elijah.
Nurture me, brother. We both.
This is the worst song I've ever heard.
And then the Rascals.
In one word, would I use dope? Nope.
I'm going to be honest with you guys, as I always am. I didn't watch this match. I didn't care. I knew the baby faces were going to win. I knew that most likely Joe Hendry was going to pin Ryan Nemeth. I fast forwarded through it, and I saw that is what happened, except I think Elijah hit his finisher, so I was a little bit off. Thanks for throwing a curveball at us, but it was a standing ovation, and then I think Elijah's finisher, and then Ryan Nemeth losing. God forbid the heels win anything here, even when all the heels are champions. I swear to God. This company loves to send the crowd home happy. Okay, so this had to have been the very last match of the night of taping in Arizona, because I mentioned with the Steph DeLander segment and Jake and 8 people giving a shit in the crowd, it had to be about the end of the night for a couple nights. But I mean, I've been to enough TNA tapings. They're just like, let's send the crowd home happy. The crowd will go home happy if you give them something good, even if it's the heel. I mean, think of freaking the Avengers. I think it was Infinity War, where it ends with Thanos like winning. You know, it was a great cliffhanger. You know, I remember the movie was over and everyone just still sitting in the theater, like they were expecting this dude to lose at some point, and it didn't happen. You know, now of course everyone knew there was another movie coming, but still, it is just rare that you just kind of send the crowd home like in disbelief. Just this, okay, good guys got to win. They're gonna raise each other's hands in victory. Like, it's just so cheesy to me. And I guess they think, well, these guys are all champions. They don't need to win. I think they kind of do. You can't put them all out of one team and them lose. So it just seems like that's going to be the formula for this going forward. I'm probably going to do this every year around this time. Good guys are going to win. You know, and because I just knew who was going to win, and I already knew it was going to be a long match, I'm just like, am I just going to sit here and watch a bunch of people wrestle? No, I don't think I'm going to do that. So I'm not knocking you guys for sitting through the match, but it is really hard when I know how it's going to end. It's like, then, okay, so the Knockouts Battle Royal next week. I know who wins, but I don't know how it happened. I don't know much about the match. So I'll still watch it. I'm still interested. I mean, it's not just because I know who the winner is, but when you know like exactly how it's going to end, and it's just like there's just no curveballs thrown at you whatsoever. You know, I don't know why they continue to push Elijah as some kind of big deal. I think he's actually hurt now. I think he got hurt at NXT. So that is going to force them to not book him so strong. You know, it's like the GM in basketball where they keep telling the coach, like, don't play this guy. And he just insists on it. And then the player gets hurt. And they're like, okay, well, now they're like, they're not glad he's hurt, but in the back of their mind, they're like, oh, thank God you can't play him anymore. So I don't know what the deal is with this guy. Maybe they give him a big Scott DeContract contract and they have to justify it. I don't know, but the baby faces won, hands in the air, feel good moment. But I really stand what I say that I think they're so focused on feel good moments and trying to send people home happy. I mean, how many matches did Rhino win because they wanted feel good moments and PCO? Like what feud did PCO lose in TNA in his entire run? Name one feud he lost, and don't talk about a championship. Championships aside, what I mean is he wrestled Steve Macklin for the title. Championships aside, they just feel like we only want to see, the good guy standing up at the end. And I think the fans would just appreciate good television, shock television, like heat up some of these heels. You feel me? Whew. So that's going to do it. I feel like that was a much shorter episode because I didn't watch that's about 10 minutes shorter than I normally go because I didn't watch the main event and there was something I didn't watch in the beginning as well. So that's going to do it for me. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry this happened on a Wednesday. We will watch the show next week and we will get into it one time for your mind. I'm out. Peace.